Hello again. We're here right now for the 10th lesson. There are only a few more, so you're doing very well. Before we get started, let's review a couple of points from lessons 8 and 9. Just like a computer, your brain data can get mixed up. I call that a thought in a knot. They're easy to notice because they make you get upset quickly over little things. But an even messier mix-up of brain data is what I call a hot knot. This kind of knot makes other people get upset quickly at you. They get upset because people see that you are not telling the simple truth, and nobody likes that. Now let's review the affirmation presented at the end of the last lesson. I'm sure it's still familiar to you, and hopefully you can remember it exactly. If I tell the simple truth about my good and bad choices, the world will respect me. So, now, this lesson is the beginning of Module 3, which is called Restore. Restore means bringing something back into good condition, like it used to be. You actually began the work of restoring when you talked to your mentor and practiced saying things like, "Knots get out. The world wants to be fair and kind to me too," or any of the other affirmations we've used in the course so far. Sleeping, eating good food, and exercising also help restore a person to good condition. So I hope you're paying attention to those things also. To begin Lesson 10, let's talk about some things called labels. A label is a word, and it's sort of like a temporary nickname. We all label behavior. We all do that. For instance, what do you label someone who wants some exercise and chooses to run? A runner, right? That's the label, runner. If they decide they don't like that choice because their feet hurt and they never run for exercise again, are they still a runner? Are they a runner anymore? No. That behavior is over, and so the label is gone. Maybe they have decided now to swim for exercise instead. While they swim, they're labeled a swimmer. But again, if they choose to give up swimming, are they still going to be called a swimmer? No, that's over now too. When a person changes their behavior, they change the label that people call them. But the person didn't change when they changed their exercise behavior from running to swimming, just the label did. Behavior changes and then labels change, but the person is always just the person. Let me give you another example of behavior being a separate thing than the person. A horse is a horse. It can't be anything else in its entire life. But if some guy puts a saddle on his back and makes horse sounds, he isn't a horse. He is just horsing around, behaving like a horse. We could say he is a horser if we wanted a label. When he decides to stop horsing around, he'll take off the saddle and act like a person again. But he was always a person. His behavior never really made him a horse. I don't call a boy or a girl a bully. They aren't a bully any more than the guy is a horse. Bully is a behavior, an action. You've probably heard statements like, "It's wrong to bully other people," or "Don't bully your brother." Bully is a behavior that gets someone a label. A bullier is a person who chooses to bully. Just like the guy who behaves like a horse doesn't actually become a horse, there's no such thing as a person becoming a bully. There is a person who chooses to act that way. I call them a bullier. When they decide to stop behaving like someone who bullies other people, it's over. They're still the same person, and the bullier label is gone. Why do I care so much about using the words correctly? because the person and the behavior are completely different things. When a baby is born, the doctor never says, "This one is a bully. That baby over there is a girl. That one's a boy. This one is a bully." Well, why not? Because even though a baby might bully someone someday, that's a behavior. That's not a person. People have long memories. If you saw someone behaving like a horse, you'd remember that for a long time. People have even longer memories for behaviors that made them angry or hurt. So even after a bullier stops that behavior, the people they hurt might still say bully or bullier. And if they say that about you, you must not get upset by it if you have bullied someone. Since human beings have a long memory, it might be a very long time before they stop remembering you as a bullier, even if you have made the choice to never do it again. You aren't someone who bullies anymore, but the person you attacked might find it hard to forget, may continue to label you a bullier. And there's nothing you can do about that but be strong and wait. If you did hurt someone once, even though it isn't true anymore, you can't blame them for having a memory. You might know that the behavior is over and the label is gone, but they don't know that yet. They are still remembering, and that's normal. You can only control you. You can't control them. And they will say and think whatever they choose to. They might continue to use the bullier label until they forgive or forget, and it may take a long time. If you have the chance, you can calmly explain to them the difference between a behavior and a person. And you can tell them that you have decided to change your behavior and won't hurt anyone anymore. If you don't want unpleasant labels, don't do unpleasant behaviors. And remember that part of the reason people give someone an unpleasant label, like bullier, is that they have seen them hide their behavior by using the lies of decoy, deceit, and disguise. I hear bulliers say, "Nobody ever believes me." As long as you tell the truth, and the whole simple truth, others will be just as ready to believe you as anyone else. But if they see a lie, then yes, nobody will believe you for a long time. That's true. I have good news, though. It's another amazing thing we've discovered about apologies that I never told you before. An apology that comes up from the heart can usually be traded for a lie. So if you lied to someone about your behavior, and you apologize for it in the right way and from the heart, they might just forgive and forget all at once or very soon. This reminds me of something we talked about before in Lesson 6, the words shame and guilt. Here's what we said. Guilt means that you did something wrong. I've done things wrong. Everybody has. We're guilty of that. Shame, on the other hand, means that there is something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're a normal person. And for that reason, the word shame should not be used for you or anyone, ever. You and me and anyone else might be guilty of a mistake, but we don't need to feel ashamed. Shame makes a person sad on the inside and angry on the outside. If you act out in anger, you are not strong. But you might be guilty. Guilty means that you did something you should not have done. If you did, you need to admit being guilty of incorrect behavior and gladly make it right. Tell the simple truth. Apologize up from the heart and fix your mistakes as well as you possibly can. Before you go now to take the quiz, I want to read the new affirmation out loud And I ask you to repeat it to yourself several times today and tomorrow. It says, I am changing all the time. I'll see you next time for lesson 11.